Hello friends, on my right is Amaya Williams. I'm married to Mr. Eric Chambion, cycling around the world since 2006. That is 9 full years or almost. Originally, Eric is from France and Amaya Williams is from Montana, USA. Already they have done more than 1,60,000 kilometers on their bicycles, cycling around the world, 97 countries, and they have been to every single continent which are humanly inhabited. I'm going to ask you a few questions, Amaya and Eric, and you will answer spontaneously. One question is cycling around the world is a very ambitious project, to say the least. Now, please tell us more about your mission and your inspiration. What made you go behind this project?
Well, we want to be the first couple to cycle every country on the entire planet. No couple has ever done that, and we're almost halfway there with 96 countries. We have 195 total. So the reason that we chose the bicycle, even though it takes a lot of effort sometimes, it's the best way there is to really get in touch with the local people and to be able to stop in the villages and the rural areas and find out exactly what life is like and to know firsthand. And also it's a great physical challenge, and we feel wonderful at the end of the day to know how far our legs can take us. Human-powered adventure.
Great. And would you like to add something, Eric?
Yeah, for us it's really about exploring the less traveled path, discovering places that have been unspoiled by mass tourism, and meeting authentic people, different cultures, different tribes.
Now, your bicycles look quite heavy.
They are.
It's quite load. What do you have in them, those bags?
Well, we want to be entirely self-sufficient so that we can camp and we can go anywhere. So we have all of the essentials, which means we have a tent, we have sleeping bags, we have sleeping mattresses, and I also have food, and I even have a cooking stove. We also have devices to purify water in case none is available, and we do keep a medical kit in case we have any sicknesses. And Eric, tell them about special stuff you have.
We also have some spare parts for the bicycle and the essential tools, so we can actually do the repair ourselves. Myself actually, and we've got computers. We've got one computer each. We've got all sort of devices to recharge. We've got solar system to recharge batteries. We've got you see all those bags. They're very high quality, but still something can happen. So they can be torn with holes, and we can repair everything. So we're self-sufficient regarding all the repairs and the maintenance of our gear.
How do you keep track with your home folks? Is it through your computers? Or?
Through our computers. When we do get internet access, we will send them an email, and when the connection is good enough, we can even Skype with them.
You Skype to your sisters?
I Skyped to my sister just this morning, and I contacted my parents yesterday. So it's wonderful that cycling is much easier now than when we began in 2006 because of all the advancements in technology. It's made a huge difference to us. And we also have a GPS device, so we can navigate using the satellites, and that means we can go on the small roads. We also have a map, but the GPS can take us everywhere, and we never get lost.
The GPS, so we can download the maps for each country, load them onto the GPS, and then we can try to find, we'll see a secondary, tertiary roads that are not affected by too much traffic, and also they will give us the exact position. So in case there is not even a track marked, we can still know where we are at any time.
Temperature,
time of the day.
distance.
You've already ridden through 97 countries and in all the 6 continents of the world. So I imagine you faced a lot of challenges, obstacles and the like. Could you share some of them?
Yes, as you mentioned, of course, we've had many challenges, especially in the beginning of our trip when our bodies weren't quite as strong. We began in Africa, so we wanted to get the most difficult continent out of the way first. But in Africa, the first big challenge was passing through the Sahara Desert. As you can imagine, there are hundreds of kilometers with absolutely nothing. So we had to survive in this very hostile environment. Sometimes we even had to camp with camel herders.
Okay.
And we also suffered illnesses like malaria and typhoid fever and dengue fever. But our bodies have gotten stronger and the cycling has actually gotten easier over the years.
Okay, Eric, what has been difficult for you? Some of the hazards?
Yeah, regarding health, I also had at one point I had an accident, fractured my collarbone, and it was quite bad. And it took a month to gain some strength again to go on the bicycle again. And because of that, there were additional complications because we needed to extend our visa in the country where we were staying. They don't usually do that. We had to convince them to do it. In our case, so those are kind of challenges.
The biggest challenge is facing the very high mountains. We cycled in South America in the Andes Mountains, and we took these very bicycles up to almost 5,000 meters. So almost as high as your Himalayas. And that's one of the big challenges we're looking forward to is going into the Indian Himalayas this summer.
Oh, Andes, 5,000 kilometers above MSL, that is mean sea level.
Yeah.
That is not easy at all, I would imagine.
No, I suffered some altitude sickness and I got lightheaded and could almost barely move the bicycle. But actually my husband pushed me along, so we survived.
I'm going to ask you now, Eric, to go first. I'd imagine you saw some beautiful places on your tour. What are your favorite spots?
Our favorite spots would be deserts. Like the Australian desert, the Sahara desert, and the Namibian deserts. Even South Africa has a portion of it, which is also desert. So those desert landscapes are very attracting to us because, especially in the morning and the evening, beautiful lights. Also, the fact they are vast, open spaces, so complete natural as far as the eye can see. And also our favorite are the mountains, high altitude mountains also offer a spectacular scenery, and we're very fond of those sceneries. Yes.
Sunset and stuff, no?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
We also like to explore in general. We also like to explore, as I said before, unspoiled places. Means areas where futurists go, where there's still authentic culture. And for us, it's very fascinating to meet all those different type of specific cultures, tribals.
Indigenous peoples,
Yes.
yeah. And Tripura is full of them if you had the time. Well, you got to add something?
Oh, I think he's covered most of the bases,
Yeah.
but he didn't mention the jungles. And we've even had some jungle-like scenery here in Tripura, actually, the very lush landscapes with the heavy trees and monkeys darting about. That's always so really special for us because, of course, we don't have those kind of landscapes in the places that we come from in Europe and North America.
Now, next question is about Northeast. So you get ready how to say something about the Northeast. For example, what made you to come here? Because not many tourists. You may be the first ones we have seen in Tripura.
Yeah, from the reactions we get from a lot of the people we meet, I think we may be the first tourist people have ever seen in some of the small villages. We've gone in some very remote areas in the Northeast, and the people are very surprised to see us. They kind of stop and in awe, actually, and just stare. They're so surprised to see us. But we love that because it's a very authentic experience, and to see this type of lifestyle where people are living high up in the hills, and really they're doing everything for themselves. They're self-sufficient, and we really admire those people. And it's a very diverse part of the world, and it's just opened up to us, and I think it's the best time to see this part of the world. And also flora and fauna, I think Northeast has got the most diversity in all of India.
Yes, I guess she covered it. She covered it pretty well. So yeah, we find those tribal people very, very authentic, really holding on to the traditional the way of life, not being affected by Western or modernism. So
consumerism and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Next question is about Tripura. Okay. What are the positive experiences of Tripura?
Well, I can say for one, for Agartala, I was very impressed by the city of Agartala.
Good.
It seems to me one of the absolute cleanest and tidiest cities I've cycled through in India. So I was very impressed by the progress that is going on here. And I just see a lot of investment seems to be coming to the region and people really moving forward with a positive spirit. And people are incredibly friendly in this part of India, very helpful. When we've needed a place to stay, at the end of the day, people have come forward, strangers, and have invited us to spend the evening in their home. So it's really been a very heartwarming experience here in Tripura.
So you're going home with lots of Tripura experience as well. Okay, one of the last questions, unless some other questions come up. So your ongoing tour, where are you headed now?
Well, we're right here at the border with Bangladesh. So tomorrow we've got our visas and we'll be rolling across the border into Bangladesh.
Yes.
And
with your permit.
yeah, we got our permits. So after Bangladesh, we'll be back because we haven't seen Sikkim yet. We want to do all of the northeast. So after Bangladesh, we'll be on to Sikkim, through Nepal, and back to India to do the Himalayas. And then we'll be onward bound and back to Europe in 2016 to complete 1 decade on the road.
1 decade on the road, just imagine that. 10 years on the road.
It's like a first stage. There'll come a second stage, but it's a good landmark. You know, like 10 years. It's a good and we'll be there meeting the family, and we'll be there meeting our original culture again. It will be good. It will mark the first stage. But then I guess we'll move on. We'll move on after that.
You make a great couple, and on two bicycles. I think, and I pray that you will enter the Guinness Book of World Records. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Thank
and
you.
come again.
And thank you,
Thank you.
Northeast and Tripura people.
They'll be on the road to Bangladesh.